Welcome back to our channel Ultra Rare Coins History. If you are a coin collector, watch video carefully. I will tell you about coins that make you a millionaire overnight. Top 1. This is the story of the United Kingdom Elizabeth II Pence 1997 coin, a coin that proves history sometimes hides in the smallest places. And welcome to Ultra Rare Coins History, where ordinary coins reveal extraordinary secrets. The year 1997 was a moment of transition and emotion for Britain. It was a year remembered for change, reflection, and the closing of one chapter as another prepared to begin. The nation was adjusting to a new political era, modern culture was reshaping British identity, and everyday objects, including coins, quietly reflected this transformation. The 2 pence coin of 1997 was minted during this atmosphere, not knowing it would one day become a symbol of mystery and fascination. Back then, it was simply a practical coin, used daily by millions of people who never imagined its future importance. The 2 pence coin itself has a proud history that goes back to the decimalisation of British currency in 1971. Designed to be simple, durable, and instantly recognizable, it became a key part of everyday life. By 1997, the design was well established, yet subtle refinements over the years had given each issue its own unique character. On the obverse of the 1997 2 pence coin appears the elegant portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, created by sculptor Raphael McLeod. This portrait shows the Queen wearing the royal diadem, a symbol of stability, tradition, and continuity. Her expression is calm and dignified, reflecting decades of leadership and service. Around her portrait, the Latin inscription reads ElizabethiiGiaTiafidDef, meaning Elizabeth II, by the grace of God, Queen, Defender of the Faith. These words are more than tradition, they connect the coin to centuries of British monarchy and history. The precision of the lettering, the balance of the portrait, and the clarity of the strike all speak to the Royal Mint's commitment to excellence during this period. Turning the coin over reveals the reverse design that generations of Britons instantly recognize. The Prince of Wales feathers dominate the center, crowned at the top and accompanied by the traditional motto ICHDIDN, meaning I serve. This design links the 2 pence coin directly to the heir to the throne, symbolizing duty and service to the nation. Below the feathers sits the bold denomination TWOPENCE, and beneath that, the date 1997, a small number that would later spark enormous interest. The metal composition of the 1997 2 pence coin also plays a role in its story. During this era, British 2 pence coins were made of copper-plated steel rather than solid bronze, a change introduced to reduce costs and improve durability. This shift created subtle differences in weight, magnetic properties, and long-term wear. While most people never noticed, collectors certainly did. Over time, variations in plating thickness, striking pressure, and die condition produced coins with unique characteristics that today are studied in microscopic detail. At the Royal Mint, millions of 2 pence coins were produced in 1997 to meet the demands of circulation. They were shipped in bags, loaded into armored vehicles, and released into the economy without ceremony. Shopkeepers handed them out as change, children saved them in jars, and commuters dropped them into ticket machines. Yet within these vast numbers, a very small fraction stood apart. Whether due to minting anomalies, limited test strikes, or exceptionally preserved examples, some 1997 2 pence coins escaped the ordinary path of circulation. As years passed, most of these coins became scratched, worn, and forgotten. But a handful survived in remarkable condition. Some were stored away by observant individuals who sensed they were different. Others remained untouched in mint sets, protected from air and moisture. Slowly, quietly, collectors began to notice something unusual. Whispers started in forums and private auctions. Why were certain 1997 2 pence coins displaying anomalies not seen in other years? Why did a few examples show extraordinary strike quality, alignment, or metal composition? The world of coin collecting thrives on such mysteries. For collectors, rarity is not just about low numbers, it is about stories, circumstances, and unanswered questions. The 1997 Elizabeth II 2 pence coin became a subject of intense debate. Experts examined edge details, tested magnetic responses, and compared die markers. Some coins appeared to have been struck using experimental blanks, while others showed alignment characteristics associated with trial or presentation pieces. As the internet expanded, so did interest. Search engines filled with queries about the 1997 to Pence coin. Social media posts showcased close-up photographs, while YouTube videos dissected every millimeter of the design. On ultra-rare coins history, viewers from around the world began to understand that this was not just a coin, but a puzzle. Each new discovery added another layer to its growing legend. Collectors are driven by emotion as much as logic, and the emotional pull of this coin is powerful. It represents the idea that treasure can exist in plain sight. Anyone who lived in Britain in the late 1990s might have held one without realizing its future potential. That sense of missed opportunity fuels fascination and hope. People search their old drawers, jars, and collections, wondering if they might be holding something extraordinary. The grading process elevated the coin's status even further. When pristine examples of the 1997 to Pence coin were submitted to professional grading services, some achieved exceptionally high grades. Coins graded at the very top of the scale are incredibly rare, sometimes unique. These grades confirm not only the coin's condition but also its authenticity and historical importance. A single top-graded coin can redefine the perceived value of an entire issue. Auction houses began to take notice. Private sales hinted at astonishing figures, though details were often kept confidential. Rumors circulated of elite collectors competing fiercely behind closed doors. In this world, discretion is common and confirmed prices are rare. But what became clear was that demand far exceeded supply. Top 2. We journey into one such story, a tale of mystery, craftsmanship, history, and astonishing value, centered around a coin many people have held without realizing its potential. The United Kingdom Elizabeth II 2 Pence coin from 2008. Imagine Britain in 2008. It was a year marked by global change, financial uncertainty, and rapid shifts in the modern world. Smartphones were beginning to reshape communication, economies were facing turbulence, and yet, at the Royal Mint, tradition continued with remarkable precision. Coins were still being struck using centuries-old standards, combining modern technology with designs rooted in history. Among the millions of coins produced that year was the humble 2p piece, a coin intended for everyday use, created to circulate through shops, buses, and markets across the country. At first glance, the 2008 Elizabeth II 2 Pence coin looks familiar, even unremarkable. Its warm copper-plated steel surface gives it a comforting weight and color, instantly recognizable to anyone who has spent time in the UK. On one side, the dignified portrait of Queen Elizabeth II gazes outward, a symbol of continuity in a changing world. By 2008, her image had appeared on British coins for over half a century, making her the most depicted monarch in the nation's history. The portrait used during this period, designed by Ian Rank Broadley, shows the Queen with a calm, mature expression, wearing the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara, a subtle reminder of both elegance and authority. This portrait is more than a likeness. It represents stability, tradition, and the enduring nature of the British monarchy. Every line, every curve, every detail was carefully sculpted to reflect not only the Queen herself but the era she represented. For collectors, the obverse of the 2008 to Pence coin captures a moment in time, a snapshot of Britain under Elizabeth II in the early 21st century. Turning the coin over reveals a design that quietly revolutionized British coinage. The reverse of the 2008 to Pence coin is part of Matthew Dent's groundbreaking shield design, introduced in 2008 across the entire range of UK circulating coins. Instead of each coin displaying a separate symbol, these designs were created to form a single, unified image of the royal shield when arranged together. The 2p coin represents a segment of this shield, a fragment that gains full meaning only when combined with the others. This idea was bold, modern, and deeply symbolic. It spoke of unity, heritage, and the idea that individual parts come together to form a greater whole. For the 2p coin, this meant it was no longer just a standalone design but a piece of a larger national emblem. At the time, many people didn't realize the significance of this change. Coins were spent as usual, dropped into pockets and purses, while history quietly unfolded. The 2008 minting year itself is especially important. This was the very first year the Royal Shield design entered circulation. First-year issues are always of great interest to collectors as they mark the beginning of a new chapter. In the world of numismatics, the first appearance of a design often carries added historical weight, and the 2008 Pence coin holds that distinction proudly. Millions of these coins were struck, but as any experienced collector will tell you, sheer mintage numbers do not tell the whole story. Within large mintages, subtle variations can occur, differences in strike quality, alignment, metal composition, and even microscopic errors. These variations are where rarity is born. While most 2008 Pence coins are worth only their face value, a tiny fraction possess characteristics that elevate them into a completely different league. Collectors began to notice unusual examples appearing over time. Some coins showed striking errors, such as off-center strikes, weak impressions, or unusual die characteristics. Others displayed rare alignment features between the obverse and reverse. There were even whispers of transitional anomalies related to the introduction of the new shield design, coins that seemed to exist between old and new standards. These were not officially announced, but quietly discovered by sharp-eyed collectors who understood that the smallest detail could mean everything. The metal composition of the 2008 Pence coin also adds another layer to its story. By this time, the Royal Mint had shifted from solid bronze to copper-plated steel, a change driven by rising metal costs. This made the coins magnetic, lighter, and more economical to produce. However, during periods of transition, unusual planchets and test strikes can sometimes slip through. Coins struck on the wrong metal or with incorrect plating thickness become instant rarities. In the case of the 2008 Pence, such anomalies are exceptionally rare, but their existence has fueled collector fascination for years. As time passed, interest in modern British coins grew dramatically. Collectors who once focused only on ancient or Victorian pieces began to recognize that modern issues could also become highly valuable, especially when tied to important design changes or unique minting circumstances. The rise of online marketplaces and social media groups allowed collectors from around the world to compare notes, share discoveries, and docker demand for specific coins. The 2008 Elizabeth II Pence coin slowly gained attention as one of those modern sleepsrosens that appear ordinary but hold hidden potential. Stories began circulating of rare examples selling for astonishing sums in private sales, particularly those in flawless condition or with verified mint errors. Professional grading services played a crucial role in this transformation. When a coin is authenticated, graded, and encapsulated, it gains credibility and desirability. A top-grade example of a rare 2008 Pence variation can become the centerpiece of a serious collection. Condition is everything in this world. A 2-pence coin that has never entered circulation, preserved with sharp details, original luster, and no signs of wear, is vastly more valuable than one that has passed through countless hands. Add a rare error or unique feature to that pristine condition, and the value multiplies exponentially. Collectors are not just buying metal, they are buying history, rarity, and the thrill of owning something few others can ever possess. What makes this coin especially captivating is the contrast between its humble origins and its extraordinary potential. The idea that a coin once used to buy a newspaper or pay for a cup of tea could later be valued in the millions captures the imagination like few other stories can. It challenges our perception of value and reminds us that history often hides in plain sight. Top 3. Today we uncover one of the most mysterious and talked about modern British coins ever struck. The year 1999 was a remarkable moment in British history. The United Kingdom was standing at the edge of a new millennium, preparing to step into the year 2000 with hope, uncertainty, and excitement. Technology was advancing rapidly, the economy was shifting, and people everywhere were counting down the final days of the 20th century. The Royal Mint, with centuries of tradition behind it, was also preparing for change. Coins minted during this time carried not just monetary value, but the symbolic weight of an era coming to an end. Among these coins was the Elizabeth II Pence 1999. To the average person, it looked like just another everyday coin. It was small, bronze, and simple. But collectors know that the most valuable treasures often hide in plain sight. This particular coin belongs to a period when the Royal Mint was transitioning designs, experimenting with production methods, and quietly correcting mistakes that would later become legendary among numismatists. When you examine the obverse of the 1999 Pence coin, you see the dignified portrait of Queen Elizabeth II. By 1999, her image had already appeared on British coins for decades, evolving with time to reflect her reign and maturity. The portrait used during this period shows the Queen wearing the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara, a symbol of continuity, stability, and monarchy. The fine details of her expression, the precision of the engraving, and the balance of the inscription reflect the Royal Mint's dedication to craftsmanship, even in coins meant for everyday use. The reverse side of the 2p coin is equally iconic. It features the Prince of Wales feathers, a design introduced in 1971 with decimalisation. The feathers are topped by a coronet with the words TWOPENCE clearly displayed below. This design connects modern Britain with centuries of royal heritage. In 1999, however, subtle variations began to appear in the way these elements were struck, aligned, and finished. These variations would later spark intense debate and fascination among collectors worldwide. The composition of the 1999 2p coin is another crucial part of its story. By this time, British 2p coins were made from copper-plated steel rather than solid bronze. This change was introduced to reduce costs, but it also created opportunities for minting anomalies. Differences in plating thickness, striking pressure, and metal blanks occasionally produced coins that stood out from the rest. While most were quietly withdrawn or melted down, a few slipped into circulation, unnoticed for years. Minting errors are the heartbeat of modern coin collecting, and the 1999 2p coin sits at the center of several intriguing theories. Some examples have been reported with off-center strikes, unusually sharp details, weak inscriptions, or alignment issues between the obverse and reverse. Others are rumored to exist with experimental planchets or test strikes created during production trials. These coins were never meant to reach the public, which is exactly what makes them so desirable today. Collectors are especially drawn to coins from transitional years, and 1999 is one of the most important transitional moments in recent British numismatic history. It stands between the classic designs of the late 20th century and the radical redesigns that would soon follow in the early 2000s. Coins from this year represent the final chapter of an era, and collectors value them for their historical significance as much as their physical rarity. What makes the Elizabeth II 2p 1999 even more fascinating is how long it remained overlooked. For years, these coins circulated freely, passed from hand to hand in shops, buses, and vending machines. Children spent them on sweets. Adults dropped them into charity boxes. No one imagined that some versions of this coin would one day be spoken of in the same breath as legendary rarities. As interest in rare coins exploded online, especially on platforms like YouTube, forums, and auction sites, collectors began re-examining coins they had ignored for decades. The 1999 2p suddenly caught attention. Stories began to circulate of collectors discovering unusual specimens, having them authenticated, and realizing they possessed something extraordinary. Each new discovery added fuel to the growing legend. Professional grading services play a vital role in separating myths from reality. Coins believed to be rare must undergo strict examination, checking weight, diameter, metal composition, strike quality, and microscopic details. Only a tiny number of 1999 2p coins have reportedly passed these tests with exceptional results, earning the highest grades and confirming their extraordinary nature. These coins are not just rare, they are almost mythical. Condition is everything in the world of elite coin collecting. A circulated coin, no matter how rare, cannot compete with one preserved in near-perfect or flawless condition. The most valuable 1999 2p coins are those that show razor-sharp details, original mint luster, and no signs of wear. These coins appear as if they were frozen in time the moment they left the royal mint. Collectors also value provenance, the documented history of a coin. Coins linked to early minting batches, experimental runs, or private collections gain an aura that dramatically increases their desirability. When a coin has a story, collectors are not just buying metal, they are buying history itself. Demand for ultra-rare British coins has grown rapidly, especially among high-net-worth collectors from Europe, Asia, and the Middle East. These collectors view rare coins as both cultural artifacts and long-term investments. The Elizabeth II 2p 1999 has become one of the most whispered about modern coins in elite circles, precisely because so few confirmed examples exist. Auction houses thrive on rarity and drama, and nothing creates excitement like a coin few people have ever seen. When rumors of ultra-rare 1999 to Pence coins surface, collectors pay attention. Phones ring. Bids escalate. Prices climb beyond expectations. The idea that a coin once worth just 2 pence could command unimaginable sums captures the imagination like nothing else. What truly sets this coin apart is the mystery surrounding its highest valued examples. These are not coins you casually see online or in local shops. They are locked away in private vaults known only to a handful of experts. Their existence is confirmed through grading records, expert testimony, and discreet private transactions rather than public auctions. For everyday viewers watching ultra-rare coins history, the idea is thrilling and empowering. It means history is not always locked behind museum glass. Sometimes history hides in your pocket. The next time you come across an old jar of coins, you might be holding a piece of the past that the world has underestimated. If you enjoyed uncovering this hidden treasure with ultra-rare coins history, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Because the next coin we explore might already be waiting in your pocket.